I got like a full face of new makeup, so let's try it out.
First new thing that I'm trying is the glue gripping primer from NYX. This is really interesting. Don't worry about the packaging. I live at a high altitude, so every single packaging does this. Like in high pressure, it just starts coming out and it kind of popped on my face, but it's okay. This is a very interesting primer. I do feel like it worked really good as a gripping primer, and I was honestly like having my doubts because it has basically a lotion texture when you're putting it on, but it's very hydrating and very, very grippy, which I love both of those things. So I am really into this primer right now. It deserves like all the hype that it's getting. I'm so excited to keep using it. I'm so into this. I just use a brush because I don't like getting stuff on my hands and having to get up and go wash my hands a million times. I just don't like it. So I'm using an e.l.f. brush right here, but do whatever you want. Use your hands. It doesn't matter. Just hydrating the lips as usual. And then I'm going to try the new Milani skin tint. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Skin Tint Stick. This is a light to medium buildable coverage with a satin matte finish, and I really like it. You can see me here. I don't really know how much to use. I'm just putting it all over the place. It also came with this cap that you're supposed to put back on after every time you use it, which I thought was kind of weird, but whatever. It really wasn't like useful. Like every time I tried to put it back in and like put the lid back on, it would just come off inside the lid. So whatever, I took it off. As you could see there for a second, I was trying to use a beauty blender because I really am a sponge girl, but it was not moving at all with the beauty blender. And I really hate a brush, but it actually looks really good, even though I used a brush, and I don't normally do that.
The shade match is so good though. Let's see if we can just build it up a tiny bit. That keeps coming off inside. So I don't know. Just where I need a little more. Just a little bit, maybe here too. I think it looks really good actually. Buildable light to medium coverage skin tint with natural soft matte finish. So it's exactly accurate to the description. So now we just have to see how it wears.
Next new thing that I got to try was the e.l.f. Camo Bronzer and Contour. I got two shades. I got the shades 2 and 3, I believe, because I kind of didn't know what I wanted, and also one looked more cool tone than the other. And then I also got this dual-ended brush from e.l.f. that is supposed to be for like blush and contour and stuff. I went in with the lighter contour first from e.l.f. just to see, obviously you can always go darker. It's a little bit harder to lighten things up. And I kind of decided halfway through this that I really did not like this brush. You'll see that in a second. But I love this contour. After I blended in the first one, I decided to try the slightly darker shade. And the only other thing that I was kind of like, I don't know about is that these are a bronzer and contour. I feel like they were marketed more as like a cool tone contour, and they're definitely not like strictly cool tone. They are a little bit more cool tone than the average bronzer, but yeah, like don't expect this to be like a cool toned gray contour. They are like really in between and definitely have some warmth to them. Although throughout this makeup, I do feel like the camera wasn't picking things up correctly, as you'll see. I think the saturation was up a little bit, but even in person, the contour is slightly warmer than like a cool tone contour, if that makes sense. Anyway, I also got the Natasha Denona blush trio. This is the berry blush trio, and I went in with the cream blush that was in that before I baked under the eyes. And I also went in and I got the new Natasha Denona mini Biba palette. There are so many of these 5-pan eyeshadow palettes to choose from Natasha Denona. I love her stuff so much. I have kind of a little mini collection going these days because Natasha Denona is one of the high-end brands that I regularly purchase. I'm never disappointed. Just like in these products, they're so freaking good. They're so blendable, just the right amount of pigment. They're so gorgeous, so creamy, just everything. They're so gorgeous. This eyeshadow palette is 4 mattes and a shimmery shade, and the blush palette is a cream blush with a powder highlight and a powder blush. Like I said earlier, the saturation is really weird in this video. I show at the end kind of more true to color what everything looks like. So I feel like the eyeshadow and the blush a little bit are pulling a little bit more just, I don't know, like more intense than they actually looked in person, and a little bit more orange than they actually looked in person. These are definitely more like berry tones that I was working with. But anyway, I did the highlight and I'm also doing the blush, and you could see I was scared there for a second, but the blush, honestly, it looks really dark in the pan, but it is very light and like fluttery on the skin. Like you're definitely not going to put on too much too quickly. But just be careful if you are a little bit paler than me. I was really scared just because of the way it looked in the pan. But it was actually really easy to work with and really wearable because it's not like boom pigment. It's kind of more of a powder blush that you have to build up. And then the cream and the highlight in the palette were a little bit more bam, there's the color type of thing. So I'm just finishing off my eyes. Nothing new here, just kind of smoking out the lower lash line and putting on some mascara, doing the brows, and then the other new stuff that I got was for the lips. I got some of the e.l.f. $2 lip liners, and I'm trying some of the shades that I got. I got some different shades of like brown, but they just weren't working with the rest of the makeup, so I ended up using Milani Spice, I believe, and then yeah, the ColourPop lip oil. That was interesting. Wasn't really expecting that. I love the shade of it though. This is kind of how things looked a little bit more true to color, if you want to say that. I love everything. I love how this makeup turned out. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Let me know down below what you guys think. And thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon. Bye.